Ready?
And we're live. Excellent. The QB Show. Thanks for watching and listening throughout the week or tonight. Love having you. Hopefully it's helpful. We have a really cool guest tonight. Stacy's probably not going to be on. She's going to try to dial in, but she's at the Midwest Accounting Show as well as our guest is, and several people. Usually I'm joining them. It's one of the key ones I go to every year, but they needed someone down at the Southeastern Accounting Show in Atlanta, so I'm leaving for that tomorrow. I'll get back Friday night, and then my whirlwind tour relocating back to Tucson. But until then, Don and I, we're going to be running the show. A lot of fun. Wanted to just quickly bring in Dawn, see how she's doing. Then we'll quickly do sponsors and bring in Richard Blitz. We're really excited to have talking multi-currency. But Dawn, how's it going there?
You know, things are great. It's been an interesting couple of months since we were at Scaling New Heights, and I'm been really, companies growing like crazy, and I'm working really, really hard to continue growing as a leader, which is really my big focus right now. And which, if you've ever tried to grow as a leader, it beats you up, and then it chews you and breaks you down, and then brings you back together again. So I'm still in the breaking down stage.
Yeah.
I'm still like getting my butt kicked. But it feels good, and I actually, speaking of feeling good, Woody, I don't know if you'll be proud of me, but I'll just tell you, I went to CrossFit for the first time last night.
Wow, look at you.
Woody.
That is awesome.
Oh my goodness, I'll tell you what, I did not throw up, but my tongue was in the back of my throat the entire time. And I did not throw up, and I did not stop, and I'm not that sore today.
Well, that's awesome. Congrats on the growing pains. Hey, we'll bring Richard in right now, do sponsor in a sec, but Richard Blitz from Intuit on. And Richard, thanks for taking you are in transit from the airport, you're in your hotel, you're kind of out of sorts, yet you're still taking the time to come on the show tonight. We want to thank you for that. And how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. No, it's a pleasure. Thanks. Yeah, I was a little bit panicked when I saw the clock. I was counting down the time for the elevator to arrive, rushing to the hotel room, but it all worked out. So very happy to be here.
That's great. And so it's the first time on the QB Show / Radio Free Quickbooks. So when was if you could just kind of tell the audience who you are and what you do, and I know you've been at Intuit a long time, but what you're currently doing, and then we'll dive right into just your expectations for the Midwest Accounting Show, then Multicurrency, if that's okay.
Sure. Yep. That sounds great. As you say, I've been with Intuit for a long time. For the last several years, I've been working on QuickBooks Online, which is exciting stuff to do. At the moment, I'm focused in 3 areas, which is automation and compliance. So automation is all about making transactions faster, better, stronger. And so one of the big things that we're doing is bank and data feeds. We've got some exciting work in flight there. And compliance, of course, is all about making sure that every part of the product continues to respect the law and the accounting principles that we all know and love. That means making sure that the chart of accounts is right in different industries. As you know, we're in a whole bunch of different countries, so it's about ensuring that the tax model supports everything from how taxes work in India to how taxes work in Brazil. Yeah, so lots of exciting stuff.
Right, because you've been actually doing global QBO stuff, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. For the first couple of years that I worked in QBO before I transitioned to the core team, I spent most of my time working on the global edition. So I actually launched the UK edition after spending several months living there and working on that it was a big lift. It was over a year it took us to get it out. And then after that, the Singapore and Canadian editions. And then we worked on the Universal Edition, which countries that we don't have a specific version for, they use that. And that's the point when I joined the core team. So,
that's awesome. Don, a little folklore on Richard. Not the QuickBooks Matrix, but when I was first getting into the global side of QBO, he had this awesome matrix of all the QBO regions and all feature sets. So it was like 10 times larger than the one I had for desktop and QBO. And he shared that with me years ago, and I was able to streamline that down for a QBO, just US matrix. But that must have taken weeks to put together. That was a monster monster job aid, whatever you call it.
Oh.
I'm so excited that someone actually saw that spreadsheet. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
That was a big one.
No, it's infamous. It was ginormous. But so, all right. So, what's your role at the Midwest Accounting Show?
So I'm here with a couple of other QBO PMs, most notably Metallic from my team as well. And so we're here just going to staff the booth. So I'm not presenting this time. I did present at Scaling New Heights, but this time I'm just here to answer questions from passersby and help out whenever I can. So mostly I'm supporting the QBOA team. So I made sure to brush up on the benefits that offers for accountants, and I'm expecting some great discussions.
Oh yeah, the Midwest's a good show. It's packed and it should be a lot of fun. But again, thanks for your time tonight. And so, where are you from? Actually, where were you born? I'm hearing an accent. It's almost Midwest.
Well, very well spotted. Yes. So Midwestern Canada, a small town you won't have heard of, Lloydminster, but it's about 2.5 hours outside of Edmonton. So
oh, nice.
That's what most people know. So yeah, it's I work with a lot of people who are outside of the country, and they always think I'm American, but Americans can spot it immediately that I don't have an American accent.
Well, I think it was either like Minnesota or Canada. I was wondering, but you're based in Mountain View, right, California?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We moved there about a year ago now, so still.
Nice. Well, we had a big change. I know that multi-currency is nothing in the global space because it's been there from the inception, I think. The QBO Globals had multi-currency for 3 years, right? 2 to 3 years at least, I would say.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So multi-currency is one of those things where we had very vigorous discussions about it when we were trying to figure out what the scope was going to be for the first version of QBO in the UK, because there were a lot of people who said, are you going to use it? It's just something that we have to draw a hard line in the sand and say, the thing about multi-currency is, first of all, the world really is turning, the world really is getting smaller. More and more small businesses than ever before are doing business internationally. So if we don't build it now, we're just going to build it in a year.
Right.
For people who need to do business internationally, there's no workaround. I mean, the pain of doing it all manually is so high that this is something that we can add to, not everyone uses it, but those who do use it really need it.
No, absolutely, and it's funny. I've been hearing the request, probably monthly, bi-monthly, for the last couple of years, and it's exciting because I knew how the multi-currency worked in QuickBooks Desktop, so it was very though QBO just looks different anyway. I was very relieved to see how closely aligned the multi-currency functionality is between desktop and QBO. Can you talk about that a little?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, it's not an accident. I helped design the multi-currency function. So that's where part of it comes from.
You did? Oh, I didn't know that.
Also,
that's awesome.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I used to work back in the day, man.
That's hardcore, Woody.
I cut my teeth in desktop. And ironically, I actually still have FRD documents that we wrote, not multi-currency, down from the global desktop versions to the US version. So that's how far back my computer files go.
That's cool. No.
But to tell you, I mean, we felt. I'll be super honest. The desktop, the QBO, it's still not right for everyone. We still have some building that we need to do before some of the people are going to be able to move there. But the fact is that we're people who do want to move there, and we're building more and more desktop-like functionality into it all the time. You know, we're closing those feature gaps pretty rapidly.
Right.
So long before we started hearing the same level of passion around this from our users and from users when we brought multi-currency there so long ago. And particularly, you know, historically, QBO has been aimed very much at service-based businesses, and
Right.
we're now changing that, and we're investing a tremendous effort to ensure that QBO works equally well or better for product-based businesses as well. And multi-currency is a big part of that. You know, if you're bringing stuff in from China or Vietnam or wherever. You're sourcing, you know, Germany, and then you're reselling. You may be reselling to Canada. You may be as well as reselling locally. Type of thing that small businesses are doing, and they need to be able to handle a lot of different currencies.
Yeah.
Can I give you?
Please, yeah. If you want to give us a tour, and now it is.
Okay, sorry. I thought the picture.
Yeah, if you want to do a demo, it'd be great. You know, some of the audio is breaking up a little, Richard. That's probably just because of the hotel room Wi-Fi, and there's not much we can do about that. Just do the best you can. But the QBO is in all the U.S.
Okay.
realms, right? All the companies should have them, including new ones. The multi-currency.
Yeah, it's in the Plus SKU, so not everyone is going to have it fully. Anyone who wants to should be able to turn it on at this point. Yeah.
So it is Essentials and Plus?
It is Essentials and Plus, yes.
Cool. Good to know.
And the key is to turn it on.
Right.
That's what I caught there. It's not just like there, you got to turn it on.
Right. In the company settings, yeah.
That's right. Ironically, that was actually one of the differences. When we first built it, we did not have an on switch because everyone, you know, for other reasons, you know, one of the questions that we kept getting was why is it taking so long to roll this out for the U.S. from when we started? It was about a 6-month effort, and in part it was because first of all we needed to do extra work to. You know, as you bring on a larger number of customers, but secondly, because we had to build those little things like an on-off switch, an on switch, not an off switch.
Right. Yeah, because you can't. Right. Once it's on, it gives you plenty of warning. But that's the same in desktop too. Once it's on, you can't turn it off. And I did want to qualify the though. Then we'll have Richard share out in a sec. And would you be able to do a demo of multi-currency on your side eventually, or do you just want to talk about it?
Should be able to. Let me just do a quick thing here.
Yeah. While you're doing that, yeah, I just wanted to mention. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Answer as you were thinking.
Well, I mean, so yeah, you turn it on. You get a nice warning about it. You can't turn it off again. Oh. You still can't convert a desktop file that has multi-currency on to QBO yet.
No,
that would be twisted. It's probably.
Yeah, it's definitely on our roadmap. Yeah. It's definitely on our roadmap, but quite yet. But it is, you know, the functionality is very similar, so it's just a matter of us getting that built.
Nice.
I'm just trying to log in here. The Wi-Fi is not cooperating with me. So
I know it's probably, and if you can't, I can probably share out, and you can watch mine and just talk through it. I'll get a file up just in case.
Yeah, but, that may be what we have to do.
Okay, sure. Yeah, hotel Wi-Fi's are really brutal on the Google Hangouts. That's what I've noticed a lot, really, with that.
Doesn't want to stream well. Yeah.
I know.
Not a big streaming fan. Doesn't want to give up streaming.
Yeah. Well, I just remember from when Stacy would come in a lot when she was traveling for those QBO Cert road shows.
You're trying to launch. It's hard to do too. I get restrictions. I'm sure they're.
Yeah, you need like 4 bars for
a
Google Hangout for sure. All right, I'm getting into my file, and then So anything that you want to like tee up about multi-currency, and then I'll kind of just show it and just let you talk if you tell me where to go, or you can just chime in.
Yeah, sure. So we'll start on the vendors list, and the
Okay.
the reason for that is, people always feel like they should start in this kind of thing uh, on the invoice, but in fact, for a lot of small businesses, where they actually start is sourcing stuff outside of the country. So it actually makes sense to start at the on the vendors list.
Yeah, that
So
makes total
currently,
sense. I did want to show where you turn it on, just so people know, in the company settings, and then advanced, and you should see it. It'll just say currency. Now I already have mine on, so this is going to take me to the currency list, but when you turn it on, this is when you're going to see a pop-up, and it's going to say, hey, you're not going to be able to turn it off, and you have to choose the home currency at this point, right, Richard? This is when I choose the home currency?
that's right, yeah. Actually, would you mind clicking that? Let's just go to the currency center for a second.
Sure. And you can also get there under the gear icon lists. There's a currency list.
Cool. So two things that I want to mention is, so this list, this is a partial list. This is what you might call your favorite currencies list. The currency list behaves in a way that the currencies you use most frequently appear at the top of the list, and then all the rest of the currencies in the world appear underneath it when you're using the form. So think of this as your favorites list. It doesn't mean that you can't add other currencies on the fly. You certainly can, but these are the ones that you sort of use all the time and pay special attention to. Do you want to click the Add New button? Cool. And one thing I want to point out is that we do support more than 100 currencies in the world, every major currency, and we also support Bitcoin.
Oh wow!
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that on the list? Is Bitcoin on the list?
Yep, it's in the list. BIT,
okay.
Bitcoin.
Oh, nice. Yep. Maybe I'll add
unfortunately, that. Yeah. Unfortunately, because Bitcoin is the value of it changes so frequently, we actually don't have an automatic exchange rate feed for it.
Ah, there it is. Right.
Yep. Simply because it changes so radically fast that we wouldn't, we just wouldn't be able to keep up with it. So for every other feed on the list, however, we do automatically download the exchange rates. And the product is smart enough that if you backdate a transaction, it will pull up the correct exchange rate for that currency on that date.
Nice.
Yeah. So you never have to look it up.
That is cool.
That's very cool.
If I was going to click here, so here's where you can do an adjustment, right, and view historical rates or edit the currency. Yep,
that's right. So we'll talk about two of those things. Yeah, if you want to see the historical rates, there they are. And so home currency adjustment. So usually I talk about that a little bit later, but
that's fine.
Given the audience of the show, they'll get it immediately. So as you know, when you hold foreign currency, the value of it fluctuates over time as the exchange rate changes, right? To wit, the value of my Canadian dollars today is really not the same as the value of it what it was a year ago. And I do still have a couple of Canadian bank accounts, and let me tell you, the Canadian dollar is miles from where it was a year ago. So simply by holding those funds, the value of my overall assets has changed. And so we need a way to reflect that in QBO when you're getting ready to prepare your statements. So typically, either monthly or for smaller businesses quarterly, the accountant will go in and will revalue the foreign currency holdings so that you're showing the correct value for the statements. And that's what that home currency adjustment does. That's how you revalue it. So you enter today's exchange rate, it goes through and it makes general journal entries for all of the foreign currency assets you're holding, including your accounts receivable and accounts payable. Just revalues the whole thing based on today's exchange rate, and then your balance shows up correctly in your or the value of your foreign assets shows up correctly in your balance sheet.
Interesting. And then just the currency is that. So that's what there is here. add new currencies, delete the currency, home currency adjustment. So, and then of course there's the list. I won't go, oh, well, this is the other way to get there. You'll see it under lists, so currencies. But then you go to vendors. So you wanted to start with vendors, so.
Yeah. So if you want to add the currency column back in, I see you've got it turned off at the moment. Awesome. Cool. So now you can see what currencies your vendors are in, and in fact you can sort by currency if you want to. If you want to see all of your currencies using all of your vendors using a specific currency. So if you want to go ahead and just add a new vendor to the top of that that list, and just call it something like Bedrock Gemstones, or that works too.
All right, and then.
It's a little bit hidden. There we are.
So here's the currency piece, right? So what Canadian?
So let's sure, we can do that.
And then you have choice of all the others, right? I got it. So you can even see all the others even if you haven't added them to your currency list. That's nice.
Exactly. It's certainly possible to add currencies on the fly. You can do that.
That's awesome.
And then you just click save. Is there anything special you got to have from here?
Nope, that's it.
Sweet.
So now what you're going to see when we start doing business with this vendor is transactions here will show up. You've got the currency column showing. It'll be very clear that you're seeing Canadian dollars here, not US dollars.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not able to sort using the Windows app. I don't know if that's because of the Windows app or what have you.
I wonder if that's a bug in the Windows app. I know for sure that it works in the online version.
Let me do that real quick. Just get over to the browser side.
Abby,
there she is. Yeah.
that's picture, Woody.
Awesome. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Sorry about that. Yeah, I noticed a few things like in the Windows app. Sometimes I go click on vendor, but there's like something locking it, so I have to move the mouse above it. Just little things like that. When you're in a child window, the recent transaction icon isn't there. The more tab doesn't have as much stuff. So anyway.
Microsoft can't keep up.
Ah, well, the Windows app it's still version 1, but a lot of people are loving it because of the open. Yeah, people are loving it though, regardless.
With Intuit.
Oh.
I love that.
All right, a currency. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm not able to sort here either.
Wow, that's really okay. Well,
but in the vendor center, it seems like I'm not able to sort, but I can do it in customers. It's weird. Anyway.
All right, I will take note of that as a bug. Thank you for letting me know that.
But let's see here. Where are you?
He was right at the top. There we are, second from the top.
Right, there we are. Blitz. There we go. Perfect. So, should we create a bill or?
Let's do that.
All right. That's right. It says CAD. Perfect. And then, yeah, I already noticed here this field, which you could override, right, if you wanted to.
Absolutely. And in fact, why don't you go ahead and do that? Just change it to take out the 032. Just change it to 75 cents.
Oh, nice.
For the moment. And what it's going to ask you. There we go.
Ah.
So you can do it just for this transaction, or you can do it for the full day.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so if you want all of your transactions to have the exchange rate, this is a very straightforward way to do that.
Nice. That is awesome. But just for this day, though?
Yeah, just for this day. So it is a frequent request. People get, people will, for example, buy an exchange rate via a hedge fund. So people are looking for a way to enter that a longer period, and that's something that we have in our backlog. So we're aware of that ask.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I have, just an account, and then I like this. This is what reminds me of desktop, where on the bill or the customer invoice or whatever, you can see the vendor or customer currency as well as the home currency.
Exactly. And so if you save that off, and then if you go look at in the actual chart of accounts there's two things that I want to point out. So you'll now notice that you have accounts receivable and accounts payable in Canadian dollars. Because there we go. And if we go to the accounts payable, There we go. You will see that it is showing correctly that its currency is CAD and there's $2,000 Canadian owing there.
Nice.
But if you go to your balance sheet,
I was going to look for the expense account because that probably shows 1,500, right? Let me. Well, I'm getting ahead of you. I'll stop.
Yet.
Right.
Yeah. But you're sniffing out the right thing exactly. So if we scroll down a little bit to our liabilities, our payables, we should see Canadian accounts payable there.
Wait, it's opening to last quarter. That's why. Sorry.
Oh.
That's a setting I have in QBO in the account toolbox here, report tools. You can set so any report or tool opens to, last quarter or last month if that's a review period. So I kind of just sabotaged it myself. But so today, let's see, this should be a little better.
So Woody, real quick, when you put the amount in, just to clarify,
there we go.
It's U.S. dollars, then it converts, right?
No, so you put in the amount that you want to do business with me as the vendor in my currency. So the currency assigned to me as the vendor was Canadian dollars. So I send you a bill for, in this case, 2,000 Canadian dollars, and so that's what you put in. And so what the system has done is converted that to your home currency,
gotcha,
which is U.S. dollars. So you can see, despite the fact they were showing us 2,000
right.
in the chart of accounts, it's showing us 1,500 there, and that's actually correct because we want all of the currencies in the report to show the same thing, right? We don't want to be seeing different currencies on a report. That would be super confusing.
Oh yeah,
right.
Lower right corner there, Woody.
I'm sorry?
Just if you open that back up in the lower right corner, it'll show the currency and then the U.S. dollars. Cool.
Well, I like it because I believe the reports will always run in the home currency.
Home currency, right? Yeah. Cool.
Hey, that is neat. I do like that.
There we go. So the books show the way that they should.
Right.
So if we go and pay off that bill at a different exchange rate, this is when you'll see the gain and loss take place.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Mm.
So let's do.
Right. I love that he said it's fun.
Let's. Wait a minute. Today. I have to change it.
Oh, hi.
There it is. There's the bill. See, I had to change it to Canadian dollar because I was like, wait a minute, where's the bill? Because I was at USD when I was in the pay bills window because
that's great.
That's the default. Then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Right. That's cool.
There we go. So if you want to change that exchange rate to 0.8 or whatever, 0.5 something. There we go. All right, and let's pay that off.
Oh, I'll do for today.
So wait, I just have to say one thing.
Oh, hey, Stacy, what's up?
Hey, I have to say one thing. First of all, hi, Richard. I want to say hi. I love the multi-currency. I have a client in Iraq, and I'm having a ball with multi-currency. She has accounts in Iraqi dinar and U.S. dollar and British pounds, and we're having so much fun with it. I can't believe I'm saying that. So thanks for coming on the show. Our first reconciliation, 94-cent adjustment to gains and losses, and I'm really excited about that. And then I just have to address everybody in the chat room. My hair is not brown. It's purple and turquoise. It's not brown at all. It's purple and turquoise.
Not brown.
Let's do the hotel lighting.
Just bad lighting, and so carry on. I'm going to shut up and mute myself, and I'm done.
Right on. Well, I'm glad you're loving it. So, Richard, at this point, I'm going to pay it, and then it says here it's CAD 2,000 total payment 1,500. Did that say 16?
That's 1,600 because we changed the exchange rate,
Oh,
right?
the exchange rate, right. Got it. Oh, cool.
There you
That'll
go.
be obvious. Yeah, that'll be obvious on that report then. Okay.
Exactly.
Yes,
so
nice.
that's the magic right there, right? From my perspective as the vendor, I was owed 2,000 and I got paid 2,000. So it's done and I'm happy. But from the book's perspective, we owed 1,500 US and we paid 1,600 US. So we actually had a loss on that transaction of $100. And that's important information, because if the exchange rate is changing in a way that's not good for your business, you really need to know it very, very quickly to understand that. So if we go to the profit and loss.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed the transaction report still shows 1,500 though for the bill.
Yeah, and there's a reason. There's a reason for that. If we go to the profit and loss,
right, let me change it to today.
Yeah. There we go. That we now have a new account, exchange gain loss, and that's where the $100 went. That was our $100 loss on that.
Oh, and then I think there's also a couple other reports. Yeah, realized exchange gain loss, unrealized.
Yes, yeah, they'll also show up there, exactly, yep.
Okay. I'm not sure what the difference though is. Can you talk between, for me, like what one versus the other report here?
Yeah, sure. It's a little bit difficult, but the best way to think about it is, as long as you continue to hold a foreign asset, the value will always fluctuate, the way that we were talking about off the top of the show, right?
Mm.
And so that means that, but I still have to report the value of it for income tax purposes. So let's say I have $100 Canadian at the start of the year, and then, as you know, as I was saying, the Canadian dollar has fallen off a cliff because of the drop in oil prices. So let's say the Canadian dollar has fallen such that it's now only worth $50 through the course of the year, US. So what that means is that I had a $100 asset, and it's now changed to a $50 asset, but I haven't cashed in those Canadian funds, right? I'm still holding the $100, so it's still going to continue to fluctuate in value. So that's an unrealized.
Got it.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
I still need to report it. I still need to pay on it, but it's unrealized. It hasn't finished. It's going to continue to fluctuate.
Yeah, I'm doing something wrong.
No, you're not. It's asking you. It wants to create the
Bitcoin.
Yeah, it wants. That's right, the Bitcoin. So just enter, 0.3 or whatever. Yeah. So these are your gains and losses relative to of your holdings relative to the exchange rate of your transactions relative to today's exchange rate.
Okay, but I actually changed it for all days, so it's 0.
That's
right. Makes sense. All right. And then the realized gain loss, I'll see just like I saw it on the P&L. I think
that's right.
It'll be like pretty obvious there. Yeah, cool. Canadian. That's great. And then customer would be very similar, right? AR, Canadian, US.
Yep, that's right. It's exactly the inverse, as you say. When you're selling to someone out of country, you just set them up with whatever currency you do business with them in, and then you receive payment in that currency, and then you're good. We'll track. If there's a delta between the time that you invoice and the time that you receive payment, as there usually is, then we'll track the gain or loss on that.
Now, a question I had, and this is how it was with desktop. When someone turns multi-currency on, and you choose your home base, all current customers and vendors you can't change them. They're the home base currency, but only new ones can be a different currency, right?
Yeah, that's unfortunately true. The reason is it's not technically feasible to go back and change the customer's transactions in the past with you. So there's really no good way to handle that situation except to just create a new customer record for them and do business going forward.
Okay, good to know. I think that's important to point out too. So those two things, but other than that, and that desktop does the same thing. It's the same scenario. So it's not like desktop's any better with that. And I actually like the flow in the windows because you're involved in both, creating both in QuickBooks Desktop in 2007 and then here with QBO in the US, and then of course the global ones too along the way as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like the windows and the flow in QBO with it. The home currency window in desktop confused me a little when I was making home currency adjustments. Now that's probably just me, but I find it a lot easier in QBO.
home currency is not the easiest thing to wrap your head around, so you're actually not alone at all.
Cool.
And look for some improvements coming soon to that window. With the current currency window is we're going to change the font, make it a little bigger, a little easier to read, and add some other improvements into that window. So that should be coming out quite soon.
Yeah, and it's awesome that Stacy's really happy with it and having fun. And if that's the case, then I think a lot of her peers will probably find it equally as, that'll resonate well. That's cool.
Yeah, it makes me so happy. As I said off the top, we find that not everyone needs it, but the people who do need it really need it.
Yeah. Sure. No, that's awesome. So, Richard, I know you've been flying all day, and you probably want to get some food and stuff. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, and that we could let you go on your night and get rested up for tomorrow?
I think we hit the big things. So yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I really appreciate it. It was a blast.
No, that's awesome. And when any changes, if you want to come back, just let Stacy or I know. Let's pop in for 20 minutes, whatever you want.
Will do.
All right, Richard.
Thanks, Richard. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you then.
And Thursday.
And Thursday.
Bye.
He's adorable.
No, that's awesome. It was really cool.
That's the first time I've had him on the show. I've been emailing him for probably 4 years. So
yeah, no kidding, huh? Yeah, I've been emailing for 4 years probably too.
6 years, since 2009, I think. So that I was really excited to have.
I got to finally meet him at Scaling New Heights. He was hanging out with Alex Blakey, who since left, but they were all buddies. They were all desktop product managers. So I like the what's that word called? The consistency of having him part of the multi-currency build-up for desktop back in 2007 and then 8 years later for QBO. And also he worked with Esther, who's also important in the QBO multi-currency as well, Esther Freeberg-Karp.
Yes. So, and it only took, 6 years for us to get multi-currency in the U.S. version. I remember being so pissed when I was working in 2009 and 2000, because I did the first QBOA courses for the U.S. in 2009, right? Those very first courses, I wrote those in 2009. It was right after Eric was born. And then I did the Canadian ones and the Singapore ones and So I did the U.S. ones, and then I converted them for Singapore, and then I converted them for UK. And I remember being so pissed that Canada and Singapore and UK all had multi-currency, and the U.S. didn't. And so I'm so excited that the U.S. finally has multi-currency. So, and we are actually having a lot of fun. It's really fun to finally get a chance to play with it and to have a client who, she's just over the moon. They're actually an LA-based company, and they work in Iraq. And so it's just so fun to see how excited, that's what's really fun about it, is to see how excited she is to be able to do these transactions, and that's what's fun about it, to see how excited that she gets so excited that she's able to actually track things in the correct currency. So that's the fun that we're having. She's like, oh, so it's actually the real thing. So she's been doing it, and the numbers have just represented the numbers in the currency, but it's all been in, showing up in US dollars. So it's just been fun. So I'm really glad that Richard was able to come on.
No, that's cool. That was good. Hope he gets a good meal and you guys have fun up there. I'll be down at the Georgia show doing a similar thing, but it's a little smaller. We have a wicked small crew, though. So, I'm the only one doing QBO demos, so I'm going to be slammed.
Oh, yeah. So you'll be there with Iconis then, yeah?
Yes, and the hours of the booth are 6:15 a.m. to 5:30. I mean, it's probably going to be the worst thing for me.
That's brutal.
But, yeah. But, hey, I get to head to the airport around 2:33 Friday, get home around 9, and then we're going to just load up Sunday, and we're going to close Monday and drive Tuesday.
You're heading out. You're done.
Yeah, I won't be on the show next Tuesday, but I will be on the 8th, plugging in from the home in the hacienda, as I like to call it.
So, do you think you guys can maybe stay in this house for more than like 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, I posted my goal on Facebook is that we don't move for a year.
At least 1 year? I love that.
Oh man.
Everybody's got to have a
Oh,
goal.
boy. Yeah,
Everybody's got to have goals.
it's a good goal.
Just trying to
So,
do a show about QuickBooks, man.
That's right.
We're just trying to do
You are still
just trying to do a
do
show
it.
about QuickBooks. So, did you guys see the picture that I posted on Facebook and Twitter with Eric Skylanders and the QuickBooks in the middle of it?
No, when did you
No?
put it?
So this is so funny. I took the kids over to they have Kira's best friend has a little brother and he's a couple years older than Eric and they actually get along really well. And so I come home and Eric plays the Skylanders video game and it's actually really cool. So he's got all the little Skylanders guys and they're centered around this QuickBooks flash drive. And it's the QuickBooks around QuickBooks logo, and I love that in my house, everything is sort of QuickBooks, right? Like there's T-shirts and there's glass cups and just everything. And so all of the Skylanders guys, if you go look at my Facebook page or you go look Twitter today, there's this QuickBooks logo, and then all of Eric's Skylanders guys are kind of in a half circle around this QuickBooks logo, and it's actually a flash drive, and I just think it's so funny that
Oh, I see it. Oh, that's
that
adorable.
he's like, incorporating something. The QuickBooks is their new leader, is what it looked like to me. So
That's pretty funny.
yeah,
And those figurines.
That's good.
yeah, those are Skylanders guys. So I just thought that was really funny that QuickBooks is their new overlord. So.
Yeah.
Benevolent. It's a benevolent overlord, I just want to say.
Did you guys, I wanted to get Dawn's take on this. Did you guys see the news on our selling or putting on the block Quicken and QuickBase
Yeah.
and Demand Force?
And
Demand Force, QuickBase, and Quicken. I was not surprised, I will say this. So I don't know one person that Demand Force, everybody says it's very expensive for what it is, and I'm not surprised about that. QuickBase is a great product, and I love QuickBase, but to me, it just seems like it's never, I love it. I'm not saying it's not a good product, but it just has always seemed like it's never really been like a
Well, I mean, I think it's
been a weird product.
so many people. That's the one I'm most sad about. I mean, my
I'm
dad.
sad too.
My dad is sad about Quicken because he has Quicken like 1995, and he'll miss Quicken. But for me, QuickBase, I think, because I use it internally, we'll probably still will.
Yeah.
The ironic thing is we'll probably be paying whoever buys QuickBase so we can use it internally.
Right.
But I really like it, and it's really customizable. And Dawn was using it and still using it a lot for appointment scheduling, all that stuff. Didn't Richard's sister create a whole CRM, VARC Solutions, right, Robin?
Yeah.
Using QuickBase. I mean, QuickBase is really powerful.
Yeah, so a lot of people using it, relying on it.
Yeah. So that's a sad one.
Yeah, I think it's very sad. I will say this. To me, QuickBase has never seemed like I don't know how to explain it. It just has never seemed like it's been it's always seemed like an odd thing that Intuit has owned to me. That's all. It seems like it's been.
It's a really good solution.
Totally.
They never took it to the final.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not a bad. I'm not saying it's not a bad product.
Right.
It's always just seemed like it's just been a weird, not weird. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how to explain it.
So Woody, I was saying to you kind of before we came on that I thought it was interesting that Intuit, that QuickBase is now connecting to QBO, and it's connecting to Salesforce, and it's connecting, I think right now it's up to 8 or 9 apps, which for years I've been saying, hello, connect it, and it just in the last couple months started connecting to QBO. So I was like, oh wow, okay, so they figured out they should connect to QBO. So I was a little bit shocked by that part of it because I run my practice on QuickBase, but I can understand why they've always kept it. It's always been separate. It's always
That's what I'm trying to say. It's separate
in the background, I would say, to the many other offerings that Intuit has. But and it was interesting.
I think it's a great solution, and Demandforce too. We bought them, but they're left to do their own thing anyway. So they were kind of running it, and they have a lot of customers, and they're going to keep rolling along. And I'm sure they're psyched just to have it back, or whoever's going to take it from there. But I think the QuickBase, I was like, wow, QuickBase, because remember there was I don't know, I saw at Scaling New Heights they were demoing this QB Work Hub, like a practice management tool, and I was like, sweet, it'll integrate with QBO, because Don, you had mentioned that QuickBase integrates with QBO now.
Yeah.
But obviously that's neither here nor there. But it's exciting,
and honestly, I completely understand why those, because they are, like, Intuit is focusing on small business, and so QuickBooks and Tax, and so those three products don't really fit into. They're really, they're doing what, I always describe it as they're finding their jam, right? They're focusing, narrowing their focus.
Our jam.
Right?
And that's important.
Yep.
They're focusing on their target market, which is small business. And
love it. And we still have Mint. I mean, Mint will take that Quicken base. I mean, that's what Mint is for.
Quicken base.
And then you have so Mint.com, you have Intuit Tax Online, you got QuickBooks Online, you got QuickBooks Online Accountant, you got payments, you got payroll. I mean, that's plenty. And there's tons of other stuff that we have. But for me, man, that's plenty.
Yeah.
That's really all my brain can even keep in there anymore, really.
Yeah. Your brain, Woody.
Right. And then we, of course, always going to have the big Lacert and Pro Series tax programs too. So loving that. They're doing some really cool, Don, they're doing some really cool online stuff, like Link, the document sharing portal thing, downloading for financial institutions, right into Lacert. I think, there's a lot of cool stuff coming with Lacert too that I can't really share, but it's really awesome. So good stuff all around. But I was just QuickBase was the one that I was like, oh no, QuickBase, right? Because everybody likes QuickBase.
It is great. So, and a lot of people in the chat are asking what QuickBase is. QuickBase is a really super powerful database. It's like Access on steroids, only online. So it's like if you took Microsoft Access and gave it steroids and then put it online. It's the best way to describe it. It's so badass. It's super awesome. It's really powerful, and it's a great product. That's how I always describe QuickBase.
Yeah, man,
super cool. Awesome, and I love Access, but QuickBase is super awesome.
No,
it's better. It's better than Access.
Very cool.
So.
Well.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean that's all I have too.
That's it. I got nothing. I've been on a plane.
Yeah, and I just got a lot going on.
I just have a quick question.
Don.
I'm waiting for a couple of seconds, but I just want to ask out to the group. So this is an interesting thing. So I was with a client today, and they're an enterprise client, and
enterprise.
And they've exploded. They're unreal. So nice. They're looking to move so they have technicians, and the field service management didn't match up. We've done some demos, and unfortunately it didn't match up because I was really hoping they would love it. So really what they're looking to do is just enter a handful of fields into an app and have it sync with QuickBooks and relieve inventory, not really inventory management necessarily. So I was obviously I go to the App Center, which I friggin' love. I just love the App Center. And went in and kind of looked at some things, and I couldn't find anything to solve a simple inventory and data entry for field technicians. Like to say, I'm working on this customer, and I've used 10 of these widgets, and 4 of those widgets, enter.
Yeah, because field service management's going to be really sophisticated. That's not going to be simple to really get up to speed on.
And
then the other ones work with QBO or
one
hook up with.
What about, Dawn, what about ServiceMate?
Does that hook up to the desktop though?
Oh, desktop? Oh,
Yeah.
we're talking about desktop.
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
So, yeah.
SOS wasn't going to work either because of that.
You know, it's almost like they just want to hook up Shopify or WebGility or something
Yeah.
to decrement the inventory.
Something that could be
Yeah.
done on a phone would be ideal.
Yeah, I wish we still had that QuickBooks Connect app.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
fun.
I just thought I'd throw it out there for, I mean,
Yeah.
looking for something really simple. So what we're going to do, and actually this is a client who uses QuickBase on steroids. Like they use QuickBase like savages.
Yeah.
Like, do it. And so right now, they do all their data entry through the web.
Okay.
For project management and relief of inventory. So what we do is, or what we're starting to do, they weren't getting the inventory into QuickBooks, so we are using Transaction Pro Importer for now. So we're able to customize an export template, report, basically, or make a report in QuickBase, export it into a CSV, and then use TPI to import it into QuickBooks. Which is not, it sounds complicated, it's just a matter of setting up all the templates and bringing it in with TPI. So we're happy about that solution, but it's not as fluid as we want it to be. So I just figured I would throw it out there. So if anybody has any ideas, that would be really great. So I don't have to think about it. All.com. That's interesting. Okay.
I mean, isn't there like some invoicing programs that hook up to?
Thinking, even if they're selling the inventory at zero, right? Because they're not necessarily, it's all contract based. So even if they're selling it at zero, relieving inventory, but it's affecting cost of goods sold by job, that might not be a bad idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think.
I don't know. Like some kind of simple invoicing program that hooks up to the desktop.
Like Invoice. Well, I don't even know if they work
You
with
can just create
desktop.
invoices, and then that will decrement the inventory.
Like, what about Invoice ASAP? Does Invoice ASAP work with?
Oh, I know who someone could build it. The AutoFi guys. You ever met Joe Dwyer? Joe Dwyer at these conferences. You know Joe?
AutoFi's gone.
What?
Well, it's not.
Repelware. That's their name.
So they use AutoFi to bring in time.
Okay.
Now, and we're moving them to T-sheets for time tracking. They're really excited about that.
See if AutoFi can do for this inventory reduction, because they build like little apps for you, customized.
Yeah.
I mean, they're known right now for Salesforce integration with QBO, but
what about
in desktop? Propelware is the company.
No.
Joe Dwyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what about like Invoice ASAP, John?
Yeah, something like that. Right. There you go.
I didn't see when I went in to just search for inventory, but probably.
Go look at Invoice ASAP.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, it's in the apps and everything. It's under invoicing, not inventory. Because if you know how you can pick the categories.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
But because Invoice ASAP, I mean, they could use that on their phone. And it integrates with QuickBooks Desktop. Look at that one, and that might work.
Yeah.
And we know that. We know him. Like
we met him. They're really, they were nice too.
Yeah, so check that one out.
I'm gonna check it out. Casey Kildall.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
so that would be my recommendation.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Man, my laptop is.
It's Cole from Invoice ASAP.
That's cool.
See if that would work. We've got his email.
I upgraded. I had a technology upgrade about a month ago. This knapsack.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice, Woody.
Black. It doesn't have a lunch pouch, but that thing would get in the way anyway. So it's sweet.
Woody.
Yeah.
I did not have a technology upgrade at all. There's no technology.
My laptop's burning up though. I think it's gonna catch on fire. I'm telling you, it's hurting. Anyway, it should be fun. Going to Atlanta. Yeah. So I'll be back on the 8th.
All right. Well, I'll be here next week. John will be here next week.
Yep.
You guys are gonna have fun.
Yeah.
You got any guests next week?
Yep.
Who do we have next week? We have. I know this. I scheduled them. I cannot remember off the top of my head. It will come to me. our guest next week is it's Richard Clark. He's gonna go like deep dive into the Windows app.
Nice. Good.
Great.
You can point out some of the stuff I was finding.
And then the 8th we have Jason
Oh, I'll be there on
to
that
talk
one.
about QuickBooks Desktop 2016.
What I do
Yes.
when you say his name.
I know.
I'll be installing it on that day, the 8th.
Yep.
He's
So
That is cool.
I will not be here on the 8th.
I'll be here.
Oh, you're gonna miss it. I'll be here.
I will be flying. That is, I will be flying to San Francisco that day. It's also my kids' first day of school. I'm getting my kids off their first day of school, and then that night I have to fly to San Francisco, and then the
Nice.
next day is my wedding anniversary.
Oh,
so
dear.
I'm kind of an asshole that week.
You were traveling,
Just
traveling.
FYI.
Hey,
I said that.
I wanted to show you guys something. You got to see this new version of QBO that I have.
Oh,
You ready?
that's not.
You
Yeah,
ready?
let's
Hold on.
see.
Ready? Watch. Hold on.
Is this
Wait.
night mode?
Where is it? Hold on.
You've got night mode. Yeah.
And then wait, I like the yellow. That's a good one. The grayscale's pretty
I can't
cool.
look at that
Ooh,
one.
gosh.
The
I
night.
like this one. But my default now, what I do is I enable high contrast in all my Chrome, just install it. But I actually like how clear it is. I mean, check out the redesign reports with the contrast on.
The yellow hurts my. It
clear.
hurts my soul. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. I'm still a browser fan, though. I mean, I'm excited. I wish I could see Richard doing his Windows app thing. I try to use it, but I really like the... Ooh, wow. Yeah, that's interesting right there. Look, it's got pink in the upper left.
I don't mind the pink. Obviously I like the pink.
There you go. There's my new version of QBO.
It's cool. I can dig it.
It's pretty cool.
Very
So
nice.
I've been doing the high contrast, and then because I have a problem seeing sometimes, so I do the increased contrast, which makes things just stand out more. Because
Very
most of the times I'm doing a demo by, memory, and I think this is right or this is right. My mouse is just pointing, and most of the time I'm right. Sometimes I'm on the wrong window, so being able to see the screen is really helpful in my role.
Yeah, that works. I like
Yeah.
it.
So good stuff. Well, that's all I had. I don't know if you guys want to do anything else tonight. Oh, the
Okay.
sponsors, right?
Yeah.
Quickly mention them. We have Avalara.com, Avatax, sales tax. T-Sheets, of course. Don was talking about them. T-Sheets.com,
Love it.
tracking. SkylineCloudServices.com, formerly Unidata. So that's for QB Microsoft Office hosting. SkylineCloudServices.com. Then there's Keyvinci, Keyvinci.com. That's report writing. Hooks up to desktop, Excel, and QBO. And then finally is Fundera, Fundera.com.
Yeah, love it. All awesome.
Thank you for sponsoring the QB show. And thanks again for Richard Blitz for coming on,
Yeah, that's cool.
powering through the multi-currency, or at least kind of narrating while I was in it.
And love that Stacy made it, because we know.
Yes, Stacy, thanks. Wow, that's
What
cool.
did I do?
Thanks for coming.
Oh yeah. Hey, no problem.
Should we go get something to eat?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a hotel room for tonight.
Sure, and then get ready for tomorrow.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys on the 8th.
Not me.
We'll miss you.
Well, I'll talk to Don on the 8th. Talk
Yeah.
to Stacy. Talk to all of us on the 15th.
Yes.
Okay.
September. Right on. Tax deadline.
Oh.
Yeah, business deadline. All right. All right. QB show out.
Peace out.
Thanks for
Bye,
watching.
Laser.